Hello friends, welcome back. It's time to set up my planner for the month of April. The way I'll be setting up April is very similar to the way March was set up. I have a format that I like and that works for me, so I want to stick with that for now. The novelty and excitement this month will be coming from the new goals, my changing work schedule, as well as me challenging myself with 75 hard, which I'll be beginning April 1st. Let me start setting everything up and I'll tell you all about it. Alright, here is my April page all set up. I have a calendar for the month. In a moment, I'll go check April in my beginning of the year calendars to put in any birthdays I have this month or any events that I have coming up. Then I have a habits tracker. I'm adding a new habit this month of washing my face. I'm very inconsistent with that and I'm sure it would help my skin if I did better. Otherwise, I'm keeping up with the same habits I had from the previous month. Technically, I could have dropped the move and the water because those are going to be taken care of by 75 hard. However, I had this month all sketched out here before the idea of doing 75 hard was born in my head just about a week ago. So we'll keep things as they are for now. I also have a spot here for my goals, and let me look for my post-it note. All right, here it is. These are the goals I want to set for myself for this month. The last box is, as usual, going to be a to-do for the month. That'll include bigger tasks I want to make sure that I get done in the month of April. So let me fill this page in a little bit more with everything that needs to go on it so we can move on. Here we have the preliminary plan for the month. I've updated my calendar with the birthdays and events I have so far. I have written in the goals that I want to achieve this month with some steps or tasks for each one, or at least the ones that I know so far. For my goal of sending a letter to the health insurance, I need to file my tax return, which I did just prepare yesterday. So hopefully it's not going to take much to get that filed. And then my second step for that, I'm not sure, maybe contacting the health insurance company by phone first before I prepare the letter. So I'm leaving that blank for now. For getting rid of 200 things, I am making a list of the areas in my home where I want to go through some stuff that I know there'll be a lot to get rid of. And I can just keep on going with that list, even with more items here if anything comes to mind. For my goal of losing 5 pounds, I will write in my starting weight and my ending weight at the end of the month. As I'm recording this, it is March 31st, so I will not be weighing myself until tomorrow. And my fourth goal that I want to focus on is one activity with strangers, not in any weird way. It's just that I do hang out with friends, and because of my social anxiety, I have a hard time doing activities or planning things where I don't know anyone. I'd like this to be a volunteer activity or some sort of learning activity. I'm not exactly sure what it will be, but I want to take care of it this month. And like I said, this last box is just for to-dos. So those main important things that I want to make sure I get done this month that I'm not necessarily tracking anywhere else. As always, I want to pay my bills. It's going to be a very busy month. I don't want anything to slip through the cracks. I also want to read a book this month because that is part of my yearly goals, but also something that I'll be doing while working on 75 hard. I also want to schedule a dental cleaning this month. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually have the cleaning done this month or if I'm just going to have it scheduled. That'll depend a lot on what's happening with my work. But these goals of reading a book or scheduling a dental, even though they are part of my bigger yearly goals, they don't need a box of their own because they're not very difficult. They will not take a lot of mental energy or time. There are no steps associated with them, so I don't really need a special box for them. And as you may have seen before, all of the goals here I am taking from my main goals for the year, mainly from my Q1 plan. So every month I am taking steps to get these Q1 sub goals done so that I can make progress on the yearly goals that I have on the previous page. Right now I am working on figuring out the health insurance, getting rid of items, losing some weight, reading a book, doing the dental cleaning, having that one activity I mentioned, plans with friends, hopefully that'll happen organically, and the visiting of the one new place. I think I'll leave that off until May unless some fun opportunity comes up. So I am very happy. I'm pretty much on track here with these that I have for the month of April, obviously assuming I get everything done. Next, I will quickly set up my weekly spread just so I have a space where come tomorrow I can put my daily to-do list. Alright, here I have a space for my first week of April. It is a short week because we did add Sunday and Monday to the prior week or the last week of March because that's how the month ended. So I do have some extra space here on the page. For each day, I'll just be making my daily to-do list for that particular day. And because this will be my first week of 75 hard, I'll take this space here to list all the daily tasks required, just so I have an extra visual reminder to make sure and hit everything each day. The space on the bottom I can use for anything. I might use it this week for some meal planning. I'm not sure yet. Now, to get a little bit more into this 75 hard. Last week, a video had come across my feed of a woman doing 75 hard, and something about it caught my attention. I ended up binge watching a bunch of her videos and felt super inspired. I then did a little bit of research on this, not my typical deep dive, so hopefully I have all the facts right. But my understanding is that 75 hard is basically a boot camp for a hard life program or lifestyle that was created by Andy Frisella. And apparently this program is created so that you can develop some mental toughness. In the program, once you complete 75 hard, like I said, which is sort of boot camp for it, there are then additional phases throughout the year that you would go on and complete if you wanted the full benefits of the program. Now, like I said, I did not do my usual deep dive, so I can't tell you off the top of my head what the phases of the program are beyond the 75 hard. And for now, I really want to focus on that. So for 75 hard, it is 75 consecutive days without any breaks, rests, cheat days, anything like that. And during those days, there are certain daily tasks. You have to work out twice a day for 45 minutes. One of those workouts needs to be outdoors, and there should be at least a 3-hour break between the two workouts. It doesn't specify what type of workouts you need to do, but you do want it to be something active and hopefully to challenge yourself a little bit. Next, you have to follow a diet. Again, it's not specified what type of diet, you get to choose that. But whatever you choose, you just have to be consistent with it. The only caveat is that there is no alcohol to be consumed regardless of what diet you choose. Next, 75 hard rules say that you should drink 1 gallon of water per day. This should be plain water with no additives of any kind. So anything that is not just pure water, you could obviously have, but you cannot count it towards that 1 gallon. Now, as a woman and someone for whom it is not recommended to drink that much water, I'll be reducing the amount of water to about 11 cups. Next, every day, you would read 10 pages of a self-help, entrepreneurial, learning book of some kind. And finally, every day, you would take a progress picture. Like I mentioned, you are not allowed cheat days, days off. You must be consistent every day. If for whatever reason you don't complete even one of these tasks one day, you are to start the 75 days all over again, which obviously is a big motivator to stay on track and make sure you get everything done. Now, I just want to take a moment and address the fact that I am reducing the amount of water that is stated in the rules. Generally, a gallon of water a day could be medically recommended for men, and that would usually include all beverages and other liquids from food. However, for women, that recommendation is 11.5 cups. Again, the medical recommendation would include all liquids consumed throughout the day, not just plain water, which is not to say that women cannot. not drink a gallon of water. Many do, and I think a lot of that depends on the level of physical activity that you have and also how well your kidneys function. I personally drink very little water and liquids in general. In my everyday life, I struggle drinking 2 cups of water, which is still a far cry from 11. And in the past, I have attempted to force myself to drink a lot more water, and unfortunately, I had some side effects from that, which I had then brought to my doctor's attention and was basically advised against these drastic changes in water intake because the rules of 75 hard state that you cannot add anything into the water, so salts, minerals, electrolytes would need to be taken separately. There really is not much room there to replenish what you're losing, and your kidneys are not accustomed to processing so much water each day. During the past week, I have taken steps to try and prepare for this increased water intake, and I have doubled and even tripled my typical daily intake, but I'm still pretty far off from that 11.5 cups. However, I plan to do everything and anything in my power to make this happen. Obviously, taking my safety and health into account, I am committing to those 11.5 cups per day, assuming I have no major adverse health effects. For some people, the fact that I'm reducing the water intake may mean that I'm not doing 75 hard the right way and it quote unquote doesn't count, but I'm totally fine with that. I'm doing this to challenge myself, to build resilience and mental toughness so I can learn to push myself when I don't feel like doing something, to stop negotiating with myself and missing out on getting the hard things done, those things that actually move the needle forward in life, because you're scared, you're uncomfortable. Your brain will always come up with reasons, valid, logical reasons why you should remain comfortable and avoid change. I am hopeful that once I complete the 75 hard, I will be able to go after other difficult things in life. Now, although 75 hard has workouts and diets, its main purpose is not weight loss or fitness, but because those are things that most people are struggling with, it's one of the elements that makes 75 hard. As for me, on most days, I already walk my mom's dog twice a day, and that takes about 30 to 40 minutes. However, for the purpose of this being hard, I will only be counting 15 minutes from each of those walks towards my exercise, because each time we only do about a mile with the dog sniffing and stopping here and there, and a 15-minute mile is probably the best I can do walking, so that is the measurement I'll be using in converting that time. So every mile that I walk with the dog will be considered 15 minutes towards my workout. So in practice, that means that every morning when I'm walking the dog, I will be adding another half hour of just me working out outdoors. It'll probably be a morning walk before I walk the dog. And in the afternoons when I walk the dog, I will be adding on another half an hour workout when I bring the dog back home from his walk. Between my workouts and the dog, that is still almost 3 hours a day, and I think that's plenty hard. As for the book, I did grab one from the library that I'll be starting tomorrow with 10 pages a day, or at least 10 pages a day. I will be taking my progress picture every day. And then for the diet, I will try and keep it simple. Personally, I'm not a fan of restrictive diets. I think it's important to have a good relationship with food. So what makes the most sense for me at this time is simply counting calories. I will do some calculations later today and figure out how many calories I should be consuming each day, accounting for the extra workouts, and then reducing that to a slight deficit. I will share those numbers with you once I have them. To make the challenge a little bit harder mentally, I will not only be cutting out all alcohol, as is one of the rules, but I will also be cutting out all French fries and potato chips for the next 75 days. And that's just because fried potatoes are my favorite vice, and it could only benefit me if I forego those for the next 75 days. Other than that, I will be eating any and all foods. I am already a very picky eater, so I need all the variety I can get, as long as I keep it under the to be determined amount of calories each day. As for my video schedule, in the beginning of each week, I will be posting an update video from my planner where I'll be going over my goals and my weekly plans, and I'll be posting a second video at the end of the week, giving you a weekly update of how 75 Hard is going for me. Please send me all the good vibes, as I myself am getting a little scared of everything that I've taken on, but I am committed and I am confident that having established good routines and having you guys as my accountability, I will be successful in this crazy challenge. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe so we can go on this journey together, and I will see you in the next one.